Happy weekend, Brunchers. I'm Bailey Minogue, and this is a very special edition of Too Much for Brunch. As we all know, The Wiz Live was tonight. NBC does these musicals every year. Peter Pan, horrendous. Sound of Music, dreadful. Luckily, they seem to have gotten it right with The Wiz. It seems to me like they may have saved their own tradition here. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion, I would like to have Uncle Colin join us via satellite.
Hi, Brunchers. The Wiz was so important to so many of us growing up, so let's get to it.
Edit.
Let's just start right here. Let's just say what needs to be said. Shanice Williams as Dorothy.
Amazing as Dorothy. Absolutely amazing. Poised. So professional.
She did an okay job, but nobody can touch Stephanie Mills. Not even the great Diana Ross was able to touch Stephanie Mills' original performance. But can we talk about how great Mother Mills looked, though? That skin and that voice?
Stephanie Mills was just awesome. I mean, 40 years later, she looked just incredible. She was so happy to be a part of this cast, and I think that really showed in her performance.
All in all, I give Shanice 7 out of 10 stars. She loses a point for saying conversating. Now, Amber Riley was the only person who we suggested in our original video who actually made it into the cast. Now, I want her to be Dorothy. I just really hope that Amber uses this momentum. She's been off of Glee for so long. Out of all of the Glee kids, I feel like she's the most talented. So I hope she uses this exposure and really goes somewhere with it and releases a single or something, or a mixtape, or her own line of sweet potato pies, whatever. She should just be more famous, especially since she did so well on Glee.
Edit.
Elijah Kelly. He's just so amazing. It was so unfortunate that he was covered up in that awful scarecrow makeup.
I was dazzled by him. I really want Elijah Kelly to be more famous. It blows my mind that he's not. Neo did do a really good job with Slide Some Oil to Me, but honestly, call a spade a spade. Neo singing a song begging to get lubed up is not a huge stretch.
I know that's right.
And then he says, not so much a gal, more like power top trade, please. David Allen Greer also did a really good job with Mean Lion, which is another one of my favorite songs from the play. But I was a little disappointed that the Lion didn't have the hair, those great Farrah Fawcett curls that Ted Ross had in the movie. Say what you want about the movie version of The Wiz, but Ted Ross's hair was Beyonce lady.
The less said about David Allen Greer and that horrible Carly Lion costume, the better, because it was sort of. But, I was into the poppies, and, I was into Be a Lion. But I will say that he sort of was the weakest link.
Oh, I definitely loved the Poppy Girl costumes. It was very drag, you know what I mean? It was very, like, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, very over the top. I think I've seen actual drag queens wearing those costumes. Mary did such a great job. I was honestly surprised. She can be a little hit or miss during her live performances. So fingers crossed. She did a really great job. And I love that they worked her signature dance moves into the choreography. That was a nice little nod to all the ethnic people watching.
I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I've seen her in things. She is just okay as an actress, but she was in her element. She's absolutely in her element. And when No Bad News started, she was singing. She brought me to church. I got the cross up in here. She had me pulling it out. I was absolutely, see, here it is. But I loved it. I loved everything about it.
They could have toned her makeup down a little bit, but her dress was fierce, and so was Uzu Aduba's costume. Who knew that Crazy Eyes could sing so well?
Casting Uzu Aduba was a huge draw for a lot of people because so many people love Orange is the New Black. And the same thing with casting Queen Latifah as the Wiz because, they just love the queen.
So you mean to tell me that the King of the Jungle is a coward and the Wizard of Oz is a bulldagger?
The Wiz was looking a little butch. And I'm sure Queen Latifah, or King Latifah, loved all those people calling him sir.
You had to tell it. Queen Latifah did a great job with her song. I was just a little disappointed with them cutting the Emerald City sequence. It's such a great song. It's one of the best parts of the film.
I understand what you're saying about the Emerald City song, but that Vogue number, it was giving me life. I was all about it. I was like, because it gave me sort of come into your house realness, and I kept starting her to come out and say, give me body. But it was not only was it like really black, but it was also really gay, and I was just all about it.
The Vogue number that they replaced it with was cute, but honestly, I really just missed that number. And they should have changed colors.
I am going to give the show 4.5 stars.
I give the show 4 out of 5 stars. But let's get back to the topic of changing colors.
Oh, here we go.
Some white folks were legitimately offended that The Wiz didn't change their colors and they opted to keep the full black cast.
Yep. My head exploded.
I just couldn't believe it. Well, maybe I could believe it. Some white people really start wanting to feel oppressed when black people aren't taking an L, We have this musical, and the only reason that The Wiz even exists is because black people couldn't be cast in anything. So we had to create a musical ourselves.
That's right. We had to make a way where there wasn't one, and all black casts has been always a tradition for The Wiz because there's a white version of The Wiz called The Wizard of Oz.
Black people weren't being cast in any major roles in the time that The Wizard of Oz was made, and even in the time when The Wiz was made. The only two predominant black musicals we really had was Dreamgirls and The Wiz.
What do you think their problem really is, though? What is the point they're exactly trying to make? What's their actual argument?
Bye, Colin.